Federico couldn't believe his father's words. "Don't ruin everything!" This sentence echoed in his head like a drum, increasing the pressure he already felt. It was his chance, the moment he had been waiting for years, but once again, his father didn't seem to trust him. Yet Federico was no longer the insecure boy who felt crushed by expectations. This time, he had an ace up his sleeve, and her name was Claudia. Before getting into the heart of the story, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Enjoy. Luciano, Federico's father, was a man who had always achieved everything thanks to his tenacity. His life had been a continuous climb towards success. Starting from humble origins with only a small capital in hand, he had been able to exploit every opportunity to build a real estate empire. Every move he made seemed to be planned to the millimeter, and he was rarely wrong. He was feared by his rivals and respected by his associates, but behind that armor of steel, there was a man obsessed with power, incapable of showing affection, even towards his only son, Federico. He had grown up in his father's shadow, always looking for recognition that never seemed to come. Despite having obtained a good education and having started working in the family business, Luciano never missed an opportunity to point out how inferior his son was to him. Every success of Federico's was belittled, every mistake magnified. The harder Federico tried to prove himself, the more Luciano seemed to find fault. The tension between father and son was palpable, and anyone who frequented Luciano's office knew it. And then there is Claudia, a girl with a very different story. She had met Federico when they were still kids, but life had separated them early. While Federico followed the path already mapped out for him in the family business, Claudia had to face more practical challenges. The woman's father, an honest but unlucky man, had lost his job, and the girl had to interrupt her studies to support the family. He had started working as a janitor in Luciano's company in that large building that represented the symbol of the family's success. When Federico and Claudia met again by chance, it was like rekindling an old flame. Their friendship, born in the corridors of that school so many years before, was revived in a completely different context. Now they were two adults, each with their own challenges. Federico, trapped in the expectations of a strict father. Claudia, busy fighting for her family, sacrificing her dreams for a job she never imagined she would have. As tensions between Luciano and Federico increased, Claudia became the young man's safe haven. With her, Federico had nothing to prove. She saw in him what his father couldn't, a sensitive boy, capable of great things, but crushed by the weight of expectations that were too high. Their friendship became a lifeline for both of them, and long conversations in the corridors of the large building were moments of relief in otherwise oppressive days. The turning point came when Luciano took Federico with him to a crucial negotiation. A business meeting, the agreement they would sign, would guarantee the construction of a new commercial building of great importance for the company. But Luciano, as usual, did not miss the opportunity to remind Federico how easy it was for him to fail. "Don't ruin everything," he said, in his usual cold tone. Federico, already under pressure, did not know how to deal with the situation. But then, he had an idea. He turned to Claudia, reminding her that she had promised to be by his side in difficult times. So he gave her an elegant dress and invited her to attend the dinner as his guest. "I need you," Federico said. Claudia, flattered and aware of the importance of the moment, accepted without hesitation. If you like this story, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your support. The day of the dinner arrived, and Claudia looked splendid in her new dress. At her side, Federico seemed like a different man. Her usual insecurity was gone, replaced by a new determination. The event was held in an elegant restaurant, and those present could not help but notice the couple. Many, seeing the understanding between the two, began to speculate. Was Claudia perhaps Federico's girlfriend? But the truth was very different, and the only thing that united them at that moment was a deep friendship and a mutual respect that went beyond appearances. Then, during dinner, Luciano was visibly tense. Although he was used to important negotiations, he always had a certain distrust towards the partners and feared that his son could ruin everything with just one misstep. While father and son exchanged tense glances, Claudia was engaged in a conversation with one of the most influential associates of the evening. Her grace, her intelligence, and her ability to read human dynamics did not go unnoticed. The partner, visibly impressed, did not take long to express her approval towards Claudia, but above all towards Federico. "I see that Federico is a very talented young man," the woman told Claudia. "My husband and I were hesitant to invest, but seeing how committed he is to the business, we decided to go ahead." That sentence was like a bolt from the blue. Claudia went to tell Federico the news. When she got to him, she found Luciano criticizing him as usual. But this time, Claudia couldn't stay silent. "Mr. Luciano, I have to tell you something," he said, interrupting the discussion. "One of the main partners decided to close the deal thanks to Federico. He said it was thanks to his commitment and the trust he was able to convey." At that moment, Luciano stopped. For the first time, he seemed to look at his son with different eyes. Federico remained silent, surprised, while his father tried to process those words. The deal had been closed, thanks to him. The negotiation, which seemed so complicated, had been made possible by his work. And for the first time, the father began to see the true value of his son. That night, everything changed. Not only did the company emerge stronger, but the relationship between Luciano and Federico underwent a profound transformation. The father finally began to recognize his son's talent and dedication. But not only that, that evening marked the beginning of something special between Federico and Claudia, a feeling that both had hidden for too long.